What if I told you that one of television's most beloved stars nearly lost everything, not because of scandal or bad behavior, but because of the very role that made him famous? Max Baer Jr., best known as Jethro Bodine on the Beverly Hillbillies, came dangerously close to being sued over his own character, and the shocking reason why reveals a darker side of Hollywood's fight for ownership and control. When the Beverly Hillbillies first aired in 1962, it became an instant cultural phenomenon. The story of a poor backwoods family striking oil and moving to Beverly Hills captured America's imagination, and at the center of the hilarity was Max Baer Jr. as Jethro Bodine. With his goofy grin, endless appetite, and charming cluelessness, Jethro quickly became a fan favorite. But while audiences laughed at his antics, behind the scenes Baer was struggling with the kind of fame that can be more curse than blessing. Baer often admitted that Jethro was both the best and worst thing to ever happen to him. The character brought him fame, but it also typecast him so strongly that Hollywood never let him move beyond the hillbilly image. Yet what many don't realize is that years after the show ended, Baer's troubles with Jethro didn't stop. They only got worse, and in the most unexpected way possible. By the 1970s and 1980s, Baer had shifted his career focus. Acting roles were scarce, but he discovered that the name, Jethro Bodine, still carried weight. Audiences still loved the character, and Baer saw an opportunity. He began using his connection to the show in creative ways, including licensing deals, promotional events, and even plans to open restaurants and casinos themed after the Beverly Hillbillies. It seemed like a smart move. After all, who knew Jethro better than the man who played him? But that's where the trouble began. The owners of the show's rights, particularly CBS and later the company controlling the Beverly Hillbillies brand, saw things very differently. They argued that Baer had no legal claim to Jethro Bodine as a character, even though he embodied him on screen for nearly a decade. To them, Jethro was intellectual property, owned by the network, not by the actor who made him famous. This led to heated legal battles and the looming threat of lawsuits. Baer fought to protect his ability to use the Jethro name, pointing out that without his performance, the character would never have become a household name. But Hollywood's corporate side was ruthless. Studios and networks have long fought to keep creative control, ensuring that actors don't walk away profiting from characters without permission. For Baer, it was a painful reminder that in Tinseltown, even the role you poured your life into might not legally belong to you. Despite the threats, Baer pressed forward with his dream project, creating Beverly Hillbillies-themed attractions. He envisioned casinos and restaurants where fans could relive the magic of the show, complete with Granny's Kitchen and the Clampett Mansion. Yet each step came with pushback, legal warnings, and costly battles over whether he could even use Jethro's name or likeness. The irony was staggering. Max Baer Jr., the man who was Jethro Bodine, nearly found himself sued for trying to keep that same character alive. For fans, it seemed absurd. How could the actor who embodied Jethro not have any rights to him? But for Baer, it was a harsh education in how Hollywood views creativity. Actors are replaceable, but intellectual property is forever. In the end, Baer managed to continue some of his ventures, but the scars of those battles lingered. The lawsuit threats made it clear that no matter how much Jethro belonged to the fans, or even to Baer himself, Hollywood would always claim ownership. And that truth added a bittersweet twist to his legacy. Today, when fans remember Jethro Bodine, they laugh at his innocence, his ridiculous cement pond, and his never-ending quest to find a real career. But for Max Baer Jr., the character carried a heavier story, one of struggle, frustration, and the painful realization that sometimes the role of a lifetime can also be the chain that holds you back.